so I haven't made too many mistakes. I suppose the only thing I regret is not finding you sooner, coming over to
Yeah.
Instagram and taking that plunge. It's just opened our doors wide open, and we're just getting all different types of people. Guys, young girls. I'm so excited. I can definitely see a light at the end of the tunnel now.
How would you explain your experience with us so far, sort of from the start to where you are now?
It has been really good. That's another thing I have to say that I've been really impressed with. I think another reason why I was feeling sort of like quite overwhelmed and really sort of concerned about the business just before we started is because I
Mm.
knew we were coming into the summer holidays, and looking back at last summer holidays and the summer holidays before, they were so bad. Like, these women will not have these kind of treatments that we were doing in terms of like having the downtime and stuff like that. I cannot believe the performance that we have done across the last 2 months in terms of an additional £15,000 into the business, which it
Mhm.
desperately needed at this time of year. I'm so
Yeah.
shocked. And I
Yeah,
think,
June and July.
yeah, this is why I'm really, like I said to you just before we went on call, I cannot wait to see what we're going to be doing across September, October, and November. Now, December
Yeah.
is always really quiet for us as well, because again, there's too many social events, and January is quiet because everyone's exhausted and spent all their money. So I cannot wait to see how well we do with that. It will be really, really interesting. Yeah, really interesting. I don't think I'll ever leave you either.
Hi guys, Harry here from Uncap. I'm here today with Jay from Sterling Skin. She's had some incredible results with us, so I wanted to share them. In the first 2 months, she's done just over 15k in revenue. We've still got 15 clients to come in. We're still running ads, so we're still booking more in. And Jay's been crushing it with her upsells. She has had quite a few clients now spend over 2.5k in the clinic. So I thought it'd be amazing to jump on, run through kind of Jay's story, how she's got to where she is now, what her plans are, and then hopefully she's going to be able to give some advice to other people who may be in a similar position or thinking about doing something similar. So yeah, let's go. So Jay, first of all, just give yourself like a quick introduction, like who you are, and maybe a bit about your background, where you're based, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm Jay Sterling. I'm the founder of Sterling Skin. My background is nursing. I'm a registered nurse prescriber, and I still practice in the NHS today as well. So a mixture of both. I first stepped into aesthetics. It was in 2015. I was very much interested in skin, but it was just Botox and fillers. And it's only been the last 2.5 years I've ventured into other devices like plasma therapy, laser treatments, whether that's ablative or whatever. And yeah, and it's just progressed from there really. And we're known to have all the Gucci devices, so the top of the art devices, great technology. But yeah, just based in Suffolk. So we've got one clinic over in the Ipswich area and another clinic in the Bury St Edmunds area as well, which is our main clinic.
Yeah, nice, thank you. So yeah, just touching on, because I know you said about having all of like the high end devices. Maybe if you want to start by explaining like what was the biggest problem you were facing before you started working with us, because I know like one of the things was the machines and stuff. But yeah, what would you say was the biggest problem for you?
The biggest problem for me is that I'm not a businesswoman. I'm a nurse that's got a passion for skin and for these beauty treatments. And you watch other people buy these machines and they're doing well. They're certainly projecting themselves on Instagram to be doing well. And you're like, I want a bit of that. And actually, without that business knowledge or how to attract those clients, those customers, high end clients as well, not the ones that are just looking for a cheap deal, the ones that are actually going to stick with you.
Yeah,
I didn't know how to tap into that, and I tried everything. So I was doing all the local wedding shows. I even did some of the shows like the Hadley show and then the Suffolk show as well.
hmm
For me, we spent a lot of money, and that was more brand awareness. We spent a lot of money sort of just hoping to sort of capture that bride that wants to go on a skin journey with us, or those horsey people over at the Suffolk show, because obviously they're the sort of high end clients that we want, where sort of like money is not really an object. They're actually just interested in natural looking enhancements, which is what most of our treatments are, the laser
yeah,
therapy side of things. And so, yeah, we've tried a bit of everything, a bit of our own sort of Google advertising, and just there was some interest. The Google was working for us, but it just still wasn't enough. We still wasn't getting enough new clients in, and I didn't know sort of what else to do. And obviously, you see all these people on Instagram. We can get you 50 clients in 1 month with your money back guarantee, and I was like, anything that's too sounds too good to be true is too good to be true. So it was just
Yeah.
something I didn't even test out because I just knew that I'd be wasting my money, and we were in such a vulnerable position,
Hmm.
business and finance wise, in terms of we've taken on so many devices, we've moved premises, we built a new website. I couldn't take
Yeah.
that risk. So obviously you come highly recommended, which just took away all my anxieties. And yeah, I'm just so far extremely impressed. I'm just so glad that I did this, because I wonder where the business would be right now if it weren't for coming to you over the last few months.
Thank you. Yeah, and I know like it's a problem that a lot of people have. A lot of in my content anyway, I speak a lot about people who maybe have like a laser device, and they're not getting clients for it. So then they go and invest in a body sculpting machine, and then they don't get clients for that. So then they go and get some sort of hydrofacial machine. And I think you were in a similar position where it was like sort of like shiny object syndrome. It's like you're kind of avoiding the problem isn't the treatments you offer or the machines you've got. It's just about actually positioning yourself as a high ticket clinic and putting yourself in front of the right people. Yeah, appreciate you sharing that. How would you say that it kind of affected your like business and your life at that time, where you knew you had to invest into something, but maybe you realised you're investing in the wrong thing when you were spending all the money on the new machines, but you still didn't have any clients coming in?
Yeah, I've not made too many mistakes in business so far, and that is because I have had a very close colleague in the industry, and I will name her. Name's Ellie from Malden Skin Clinic. She's like 5 years ahead of me in what she's doing, and she's just given me
Yeah,
so much advice and support. And obviously, you've come recommended from her, and I absolutely trust her. And I just hopefully can get the message across to anybody that's looking in now that felt the same way as me, not trusting. We can guarantee you this, because actually you never guaranteed anything. You were just very authentic. Just I just wish that they knew what you could offer, and took a plunge with
yeah,
you, and not go for anybody that's guaranteeing 50 clients in 1 month, because that is too good to be true, and they're most probably going to be weak clients anyway. So I haven't made too many mistakes. I suppose the only thing I regret is not finding you sooner and mastering the devices that I did have, actually really advertising them properly, marketing them properly, and getting them really busy before moving on to my next one. I thought the missing piece is that I didn't have enough to offer, so I just kept getting financing
yeah,
and going for this, because I was like, right, now I can treat that, now I can treat that, now I can treat that. And actually, what I was missing was marketing. I didn't realize the power behind Instagram. I thought Google was ticking me over, but I didn't realize how
yeah,
powerful Instagram actually was. I always said that my demographics were middle-aged women, and they're my best clients. They're the ones that are invested in their skin journey. They're the ones that are in better financial
yeah,
positions, so they can go for these non-surgical. So I never thought that the younger generations were my demographics, because you know that's not what I was offering. And actually, I thought about the middle-aged women, and I was thinking they were using Instagram, they'd use Google. So Google was my main, like my only vision really. And actually, coming over to
yeah,
Instagram and taking that plunge, it's just opened our doors wide open, and we're just getting all different types of people. Guys, young girls, older women that were absolutely would not have any of these intensive treatments, but did want some of our sort of more advanced
yeah,
deep cleansing, sort of like with the Aquapure. So yeah, it's just we've just tapped into a different marketing world, and I'm so excited. I can definitely see a light at the end of the tunnel now. Where 2 months ago I was, I don't suffer with mental health problems or anything like that, but I wish I never started the business. It's
really,
taken, yeah, it's taken everything out of me, and I didn't think we were going to fold or anything like that, because obviously I've got savings and whatnot, but I just didn't know what else to do or how else to attract new clients, and just keep the yeah, boat afloat, I suppose. So
yeah,
yeah, the Instagram, I wish I'd tapped in sooner.
yeah. And like in terms of actually working with us, what would you say is like not don't go into too much detail or anything like that, but how would you explain your experience with us so far, sort of from the start to where you are now?
Yeah, so far, even though you came recommended, it was still quite daunting. Obviously, I knew that I needed um, some professional videography done, so that was quite expensive. Well, it wasn't for what she done, because she was amazing, but your connections have been so fantastic, and did an amazing job. Um,
Yeah,
and I find your team absolutely fantastic in terms of booking and pushing me to reschedule my diary and just booking people in and cramming me back to back. And she said, I hope you don't mind. And I'm like, no, I love that. I feel like there's a sense of it's almost your business too, because you seem really invested. You seem like you want me to do really well. Of course, you want me to do well, you know. But I just feel like your team are definitely making decisions without always coming to me and kind of understanding what I am, what I'm like as a person. And you're saturating my diary, which is fantastic. But you're also squeezing people in and saying, actually, there was a gap. So can you? I've squeezed them in anyway, but you might need to move your other one up to give yourself a little bit of a space. And I was like, yeah, carry on doing that. So it has been really good that you're not too regimented. You're actually taking your own initiative and pushing our diaries.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things in there is that we where we work on the performance structure, that's the whole thing behind our business model now, is that we used to just charge a retainer, and that was great. But then if we've got goals to get to, say, if we wanted to make 100k a month and we were charging 2k a month as a retainer, we have to just sign 50 clients, and that's just volume. And I think what happens then is your service level drops because you're catering to more people. Whereas, with the current model we've got now, as long as we keep signing the right clients like yourself, first of all, we build a better relationship because we do more for you. We're not just running ads and setting appointments for people who want one session or whatever. We're actually financially qualifying people or medically qualifying them to make sure that they're not going to be wasting your time when they come in. We want to make sure that they're actually going to invest into a course, because the thing is, if we spend our time doing that, that means when the clients come to you, long term, you're going to make way more money. And because we're on performance, it means we're also going to make more money. So in theory, clients like yourself and like Ellie probably will never leave, because we should only keep growing. And if there is specific months where, for example, in August, most of your demographic are school mums, people that they're likely going on holiday. So there are months where it'll be slower. Where we're not charging a retainer, it doesn't affect our clients as much, because it just means that they're not going to pay us as much as what they usually would, which we're happy with, because kind of we're in the trenches with you, I guess.
Yeah, that's another thing I have to say that I've been really impressed with. I think another reason why I was feeling sort of like quite overwhelmed and really sort of concerned about the business just before we started is because I knew we were coming into the summer holidays, and looking back at last summer holidays and the summer holidays before, they were so bad. Like, these women will not have these kind of treatments that we were doing in terms of like having the downtime and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons why I got the Aqua Pure, because actually it's just a really nice, intense sort of facial deep cleansing. So I knew that that's something that could tick us over. I cannot believe the performance that we have done across the last 2 months in terms of an additional £15,000 into the business, which it desperately needed at this time of year. I'm so shocked. And I think
June and July.
This is why I'm really, like I said to you just before we went on call, I cannot wait to see what we're going to be doing across September, October, and November. Now, December is always really quiet for us as well, because again, there's too many social events, and January is quiet because everyone's exhausted and spent all their money. So I cannot wait to see how well we do with that. It will be really, really interesting. Really interesting. I don't think I'll ever leave you either. I see Ellie say it, and I was like, yeah, I bet she will. But you don't fix what's not broken, do you? So
exactly.
You're working so well.
Yeah, and I think the other thing now is, because we were talking just before this call, kind of about how previously you've not been like a proper business owner in terms of knowing numbers and stuff like that. And I think that's another thing that's important to make sure that you're tracking. And obviously we've been helping you with that. So just to look at your current numbers right now, we've had 49 clients in the first 8 weeks, which is in June and July, like you said, slow months, and normally. We've still got 15 to come in, so those don't have revenue associated to them, and we're already at 15k. I imagine once those 15 come in, we'll be at least 25k plus whatever we book in the time between now and when they come in. But the most important thing I think for us to know is, in terms of how many clients have been treated, what you're actually spending and what you're generating, because from those three numbers you can work out so many metrics. So for example, if you looked at how much you've spent on ads so far divided by how many clients we've booked, that gives you what we call CAC, and we were talking about this before the call. At the moment your CAC is £39, so it's costing you £39 to get one client in the clinic. Your LTV so far, lifetime value, which will always increase because people will keep coming back and spending more, is currently around £450. So what that basically means is that every time we spend £39 on ads, you make £450 from a client. And it's so in theory, what that basically means is, at the moment we're on like a 7.7x ROAS. basically means for every pound you spend, you're making £7.70 back.
Yeah.
So you know that when you spend £1,000 on ads in a month, you make 7.5, 8K back. The benefit of knowing that number, especially where it was like quiet in the summer, is because now you, like, for example, we're running 2 treatments right now, and you know that that's limited by your budget. You're not just going to jump in and start spending 4 or 5 grand on ads straight away, but we
Yeah.
can slowly scale it. Now you know that a pound is giving you £7.70 back. You could easily go, like, and we probably will next month, double ad spend, for example, increase and add 2 more treatments, and you know that naturally you're going to make more. So it gets to that thing where it's more predictable, and you know that it's just about putting more money in to get more money out, and that is it.
Yeah.
To an extent, obviously, you need to. It will come a time where you won't be able to put 10 grand in because you won't have capacity in the clinic, but that'll be
Yeah.
a great problem to have because
Yeah.
you just hire more and open another
Definitely.
clinic.
I think that one thing I've been really surprised with as well, like you say, you put more money in, you get more money out. Again, that sounds too good to be true, but it's actually not. Now that I'm in it and I'm experiencing it, I'm like, it actually does work. It's actually amazing. I think for me, one thing I was a little bit concerned with. So everyone keeps. I got stopped in the street going, "Oh, that's Johanna from Sterling Skin, or Jay,
No way.
from Sterling Skin." I was like, "Oh, famous." But I just thought that eventually those ads will be too saturated and I wouldn't be getting new clients. But then they're not, even though they'll be going for 2 and a bit months now, they're still hitting new people all the time. And I thought, because obviously Bury St Edmunds and Kersey, sort of Ipswich way, they're small areas, and it's quite niche. And I just didn't think we'd still be getting the kind of like volume that we're getting. So I suppose that I'm really, really surprised because already I've been thinking, oh, do I do another video content day? And you just constantly thinking that's more expense, that's more expense. But so far, it's not slowed down, and I am so grateful and I'm so impressed. But I am hungry to do a couple more ads and just really keep pushing because we
Keep
want,
pushing it,
yeah,
yeah.
we want that. Even though our diaries are full on the days that we open, we want to open up more. It's just we
Yeah.
had to get the capacity on the days first, and now we are starting to not have any spaces. So that's
Yeah.
just amazing. Go back 2 months
Yeah.
ago,
And
we was having big gaps in our diary, and it wasn't a nice feeling. It's very anxiety provoking. Not good.
yeah. And I think it's funny actually, just going back to the thing of being stopped on the street. We've
Yeah.
had a few clients say that. It's funny. I think the main reason is because with the strategies we use, what we basically do is we'll advertise broadly first, and then what basically happens is you, like, the best way to explain it would be like if you were fishing, right? You've got like a whole lake, you throw a out and you get a few fish that give it a little nibble, but they don't actually get hooked on. So what happens is like people will see your ads and they'll watch the video, or they'll click on the link, but then they don't quite take the steps that are needed to actually sign up. So we know then, because we're tracking that in Facebook and in Meta, we know that those people have somewhat of an interest, but there was some reason they didn't take any take any action. It could be anything, like, you know how it is. You could see an ad, you click on it, and then your kid's calling you to go and make a drink or whatever, and you get distracted and then you forget about it. So it's really important with strategies to like retarget people. So what you're probably finding is we've got people that are watching your content, and then we're retargeting them with more content, so they keep seeing you, which is it's a good thing because now they're like, it shows they're recognizing you. They know you in the local area, which means like, and even if, for example, the people that are saying it aren't coming for a treatment, if you're putting yourself out there, you know that the longevity of it is going to be massive, because it could be 3 months' time, they're sitting down at dinner and someone says, "Oh, I was looking at this treatment, I really wanted it, I'm not sure." And they go, "Oh, yeah, I know someone who does that."
Yeah.
Just because they've been watching your content or your ads. It's just like this is what people don't realize as well, is the effect of the other side. Would you say then, like, in terms of, because obviously we book people in for you and we track what you book, but would you say your organic side's gone up as well? Like people
Yeah.
coming to your website through Instagram, stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. So we both, myself and my colleague Lindsay, the phone's been ringing more. That there's bookings that we can see that haven't been done by you. But then so when we do the consultation, we was like, "Oh, how did you hear of us?" I was like, "Oh, I saw your ad," but then they've gone on and then they've booked organically as well. And then with our followings almost doubled as well.
Really?
Yeah, our following's almost doubled. But I'm just having, so that's another thing as well. I think I remember when I very first met you, I said my Instagram, my social media is so weak. It's not my thing. It makes me
Yeah.
anxious. I've had people come in and do some posts before. They've not quite sort of hit what I want them to do. And plus it's expensive as well. So I've dropped that. So I think I was really concerned about paying all this money for the adverts and whatnot. And people land on the page and just go, "Oh, like, there's not a lot
Yeah.
going on," and there's still not a lot going on. So I'm really surprised that they are converting. But yeah, I feel like we're very good at our consultations. We take our time. We've got our skin analysis, which is our biggest tool in our clinic, because it really sort of keeps us transparent. We get to see all the different layers, and women are absolutely so interested in what's going on, and the before and after pictures and stuff like that as well. So yeah, organic searches have gone up, followings have gone up, and people are then talking to each other as well. So the more women you have, then that's the word of mouth is so
Referrals,
important. And that's already started happening. Oh, my friend came in and saw you last week, so I'll come in as well. So it's just amazing. It's been a win-win all around. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Just a quick side note. After this, because I know we're going to plan for like new strategies and stuff after the call. Remind me of what you said about referrals, because I've got an idea for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, just remind me, and I'll go over it with you, and I think it'll work.
Okay,
So, and you said there about you was talking about like your process in the clinic in terms of like people coming in using the skin scan to give them like a proper consultation, like really show them the pain points that they've got and like the problems that you can solve. And I think a lot of people miss that. Like we've worked with clients in the past where we've sent like literally hundreds of people a month, and then none of them are upselling. And I feel like there's definitely things in there that you like specifically for you, but like you would do in the clinic that I don't know about because I don't run a clinic, but you could probably share with other people who are trying to get to a similar position to you. So I want to go into that a little bit. Maybe if you want to just give me sort of like a run through of your, like, what's your sort of process like in the clinic when a client comes in, and how does that work?
So there's two different types of consultations that we do. One's for 45 minutes and one's for like an hour and 15 minutes. The hour and 15 minutes is premium. It's more money, but it's redeemable on treatments. But most people go for the 45 minutes. So it's a little bit of a squeeze, but we feel like we can achieve enough in that 45 minutes. So we get them in, we introduce ourselves, cleanse their face so they've got no SPF on, get them in the skin analysis, and we just take forward picture, side pictures, because it's really important that we see the skin around the eyes or any kind of like jowling area. And then we go straight into the first picture, which is the daylight, and we explain what we love about the skin analysis is that it's so transparent. It's the same consistent light, so it can't lie. We can't fool you that a treatment's lightens your skin by using different lighting. So straight away that sets the scene that they're safe and that they're having an expert sort of imagery done. And then I say to them, tell me what you see, tell me what bothers you. And then they start telling the bits. We circle all the bits what they're saying, and then I go, do you want my opinion? And then I go, actually, I think you're being a bit too hard on yourself. Actually, I think this is causing that issue. And then we look at all the different layers, and actually we make some just recommendations that they can go away and up their SPF, use a gentle cleanser, and that will resolve some of their other issues. And then we start talking about what we can do to treat some of their bigger issues, the stuff that they wouldn't be able to do at home. And we circle it, we talk them through it, and we write it all in a report. We use ChatGTP as well, and we say, Sophie's come in today with dry skin, she's got some deep pigmentation, and actually she's got some crepiness sort of just under her eyes. We've recommended these as her treatments, and it formulates everything with the prices of the packages. We put that in the email to her with all of her pictures, send it off, and we just book them in for a follow-up consultation for them to have time to really think about it, to go away and to do their research. And the fortunate thing with us is because we have invested in the latest state-of-the-art technology, it's all over. They've only got to Google search it, and everything is out there, real reviews. And that's what we say to people: just go and look. And because we know that no one else in our area has quite we haven't got to worry about other people kind of stealing that, or them going for like a cheaper option. Yes, we've got that no pressure, but we've just got that confidence in clinic that we can actually tell them that these devices, go and do your own research and come back if you want. And then we add a few extras. So when somebody is going in for a package with us, the typical package is about 2,000 to 2,500, depending whether they're going for the neck and face and neck treatment. We add in products that we want them to use, complimentary, and then they're going to fall in love with those products and they're going to keep buying from us. And then also we chuck in some complimentary treatments, like whether it's an aquapure to get their face into a good condition in the first place, or plasma, so using your own blood plasma to put on the face after an ablative treatment to help with the healing process and rejuvenation as well. So that's how we put our packages together, and that's why one client converts into £2,500 sale. And we have had, honestly, Harry, we've had loads of them that have come from you, come from your sales, come from your advertising.
Do you know, like, something I love that you were saying there is that you're So that is a sales process. Everything you've just told me is a sales process. You probably don't see it that way. And this is, I think, what a lot of people get stuck in, because they'll like watch this stuff on YouTube about how you need to frame sales and da, da, da. A lot of the time it's just about being natural and
Yeah.
like having authority. So you're using things in there that I've like learned through experience and through like courses and stuff like that, but naturally without actually meaning to. So like the whole thing with no pressure is great, but you have to make sure you frame it in the right way
Yeah.
and then give them the no pressure thing. Otherwise, nothing's happening. If you just say to people, "Yeah, you probably do with having this and this, and it would help fix this problem," or like even if you went on the skin scan and you went, right, you've got this problem, this problem, this problem, like people might get offended, or they might think like, okay, that wasn't what I was worried about, but now you're just telling me, and they'll never sell. What you're doing really well is you're letting them discover their own
Yeah.
or their own pain points. So you're asking them, okay, what's the problem? What do you see here that you think is can be improved or that you're not quite happy with?
Yeah.
And that reinforces with them that there's a problem. And I reckon a lot of the time they probably speak to us and they probably say, oh, I'm a bit worried about wrinkles and da da da. So we'll book them in for a consultation, for example. But when you put them in the machine and you give them the thing and say, what are you worried about? They probably say to you, oh, I was actually thinking about wrinkles, but now I've seen it, I've got a lot of pigmentation, like, and they start coming up with other things that you can then sell them on,
Yeah.
which ultimately is going to mean that like, and it isn't just a thing of getting the most money out of someone. I imagine if someone came in and they didn't need anything, you wouldn't sell it.
Oh, I literally, a lady came in and I said, "You have got nothing that I need to do to your
Yeah,
skin. If you like facials, you can come in and have some facials, but that your skin is absolutely in amazing condition.
hmm,
There's no treatment that I can offer you other than facials because they're nice, rather than anything that needs to correct the skin. I think with us going back to sort of like what works is that I have had lots of skin conditions over the years. I've suffered with acne. This eye has been really loose, the skin around here, which the age share has been brilliant. And then amongst some other sort of like issues as well. So I really can sort of relate to some of the skin conditions that are coming in. I had pigmentation. I've managed to sort of clear all that as well.
yeah,
And because I generally get excited, so like you said, I'm not robotic. I'm not like, oh, this needs sorting. We've got this needs sorting. I'm like, oh, let me show you this lady. She had a very similar skin condition to you. She had these treatments. Let me just show you her before and after pictures. So can you see? So I'm also showing them that look, her too, and now look at you, and now look at her. So that can be achieved with this treatment. And I remember
so
that. And so the report's really important, and the photos are really important for them to go away and just lull over and really think about that. And I think if you're going to deliver some bad news to someone and something that they haven't picked up, you have to downplay some of what their concerns are as well. So if they're giving themselves a hard time around their eyes, but I actually think jowling's the problem area, I'll go, actually your eyes, like your top half's like really great. I think you need to give yourself a break. Actually, what I am noticing is actually if I call it distractions. I'm like, if I talk to you, what am I distracted by? Is it like
mhm,
sort of your frown's really deep and I'm focusing on your frown instead of your eyes? Or
yeah,
and so we'll talk about distractions, and that's what I say to my ladies and my guys. What's distracting me now is that big splodge of pigmentation there. I'm just drawn to it. So
yeah,
I'm not drawn to the areas that you're telling me is a problem. But
yeah,
yeah, we can work on that. I can see what you're saying. So yeah, it's just having that fluid conversation. What works well for them, what looks good, but also what are the blinking telltale signs of aging, and how we can
yeah.
resolve that. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. A few more questions I wanted to ask just to like get some help for other people. So, like, how do you handle objections or do you not? So, for example, I imagine you get a lot of people where like you show them the package and stuff like that, and then they'll come back and they'll be like, "Oh, I need to speak to my husband first," or whatever the excuse is. Like, how do you overcome that?
Yeah, that is a tricky one, because again, I'm not a salesperson and I'm not pushy. And the thing is, as well, Harry, we have to be really mindful here. And I'm really mindful that this is big money that comes with big downtime. I say big
Yeah,
downtime comes with downtime, and to people that does feel big. A 5 day downtime feels really big. It's days off work,
yeah,
so you've got to keep that in mind. And it's really private. No one, they don't want people to know, so they might get seen by their husband. And also, everybody's biological makeup is different. So sometimes you get these really amazing results, and you're like, oh my God. And other times you can get, especially with pigmentation, you can get really poor results. Someone's paid £1,000, they've gone on this journey with you, and it's like, oh my God, that's barely budged. And so I never really push for these sales,
yeah,
because if somebody's really unsure about the money side of things, I'm really careful that I don't oversell feed them expectations that might not fully come out, because I'm mindful that everybody's different. So what I do in these situations, if money is an issue, if downtime is an issue, I'm like, okay, well, let's start on something that is not too overwhelming for you. You said that your
Yeah.
pores are really enlarged, so why don't we do aquapure or a microneedling to close the pores? There's no downtime, there's hardly any downtime with microneedling, no downtime with aquapure, and then
Yeah.
it's within their budget, and it's building that trust. And obviously, with these smaller treatments that aren't expensive and don't come with sort of any real downtime, they've got
Mhm.
that trust in you, and they will like their skin even after one session as well. And then that way, you kind of just got them in your pocket then, really.
Nice.
Really.
Yeah.
Just doing them
So
back to you.
so it's more about like, if you know that the objection is money, but they don't want to say it, you kind of allow them to start on something lower ticket, knowing that once they get good results and the time's right, they will upsell. So
Yeah.
I guess my question then would be like, what have you found your best upselling strategies to be? I think you went through a couple of them when you was explaining your sales process, but like maybe like, do you have any particular upsell strategies that have worked well?
Yeah, I think the only thing with us in terms of upselling, because you can't really upsell tattoo too much. You can't really. I suppose when we're doing like laser hair removal and things like that, we might spot a tattoo that's really faded, or we
Yeah.
might spot a mole that needs investigating and potentially moving, any kind of like skin laxity. So we do vagina rejuvenation as well. So, if someone's embarrassed, like we might have that conversation going, so why are you embarrassed? We're women. Oh, well, after birth, it hasn't, worked the same, look the same. And then we might have a conversation. Oh, we do skin tightening treatments. It can even
Yeah.
tighten sort of, or rejuvenate the vagina area, intimate areas. And so things like that, just general conversations too. But I suppose my biggest upsell is going to be sort of the skin packages, the facial skin packages with the neck.
Hmm.
Everybody
Yeah.
comes in with their face, but actually when you look, you can see that the neck is just starting to show some signs. And we
Hmm.
say that the neck, especially around menopausal age, will go like that. And it will
Yeah.
literally be from one year to the other. And
Hmm.
once that neck goes, that is a absolute bugger to try and get back. So, and we have those conversations. And what we do, if they go in for the big boy package with the face, which is hitting round about the £2,000 mark, we get the neck package on its own, and we actually cut that by 50% and add that onto the package. And we
Nice. Yeah.
also give an extra, £100 worth of
Yeah.
product on that as well. And that has been our biggest upsell, is the necks.
So I'd say your biggest strategy then is probably something that no one even thinks about, but is so important, is conversations, but I think also listening, because it's so easy. Like, you could be in conversation with someone, if you're not actually listening to what they're saying, you will miss small things that over time will accumulate. Because if someone says something that like you could potentially upsell them on, but you're not actually listening to what they're saying,
Yeah.
you're never going to catch that, and that's going to mean, it might only mean you miss out on another £300 from one client. But if that happens on a daily basis every single day for a year, that could be 20 grand a year that you're missing out on. So just like the conversations and listening, and obviously the stuff that you went over with the like framing things in consultation, is definitely another one that's going to help you upsell to other treatments. So I want to kind of wrap up now, but I just wanted to ask you a couple of things. So first of all, what sort of tips would you, that don't have to be like anything long, but have you got any small tips that you would give to other clinic owners, maybe who are either like in a position you were in before, or maybe in a position where they're just struggling to make the most out of the clients that they're getting, or maybe like they're getting clients through the door, they're not upselling? Any little tips that you've got?
I think the only, yeah, I think I suppose consultation comes naturally to me because I'm a nurse, and obviously
Yeah.
that's something that we do all the time. Is I would, if you feel like you're not getting those sales, or someone's coming in for a consultation and they're going away and they're not booking, you really need to look at why they're not booking. And I would
Yeah.
actually get practice with some of your friends or some of their friends' mums to come in and give some honest
Okay.
feedback. Um, yeah, so in terms of consultation, I've never really struggled. It was getting the clients in the first place. So if we look at that as a tips of how to get the clients in the first place, it has to be advertising, it has to be marketing, and
Yeah.
I understand everybody's anxieties. So if you can find somebody who's highly recommended, then that takes away all the anxiety. So
Yeah.
I can't stress enough. I know there's going to be so many people that don't know me, so many people that haven't been in my situation where they've got someone like Ellie who's used you, but I
Hmm.
cannot stress enough to anybody watching this that you are safe, you deliver, you don't overpromise, and I think because you're in this industry and you're working with so many clinics that have got similar devices or doing similar things, you really understand pain points and
Yeah.
what sells. So I'm so glad I didn't just go for anybody. I'm so glad that I've gone for somebody who actually really understands the industry and pain points and marketing. And already I said I want to go into like a new advert, and you're like, well, it's working really, really well. September's a great time to be doing this. I'm like, yeah, let's go for it, because you understand it. You understand exactly this market, and the demographics. You know what clients I want as well. So that really helps as well.
Cool. Thank you. And then one last thing, what would you say to someone who's sitting on the fence about working with us? Because we get a lot of, like, I have so many calls every week, and like, I'm very honest. So if I speak to someone and it's not the right time for them, I'm not going to pressure them into working with us, because first of all, like, it gives us a bad rep if I know I can't deliver results for someone, because there are people that aren't in the right position right now, and there's other things they can work on. If first of all I can get a bad rep for just selling people, and the other thing is that we work on performance, so it makes no sense for us if we like, if something's not right for someone and I know I'm not going to get them many bookings, we're not actually going to make much money, so it doesn't make sense for me to do that either. But we do also get a lot of people that we speak to single week who are like, and I understand it because it is a big investment to start out, but it's like knowing what you can get back from it, the investment is nothing really in terms of like what actually comes back. But what would you say to someone who sort of knows that it's what they need to do, but they're sitting on the fence and they're not making a decision?
Yeah, I think they need to figure out why they're not taking the plunge. Is it finances, or is it something else? Because I tell you what, going back, if it was finances, do you know what I would do? I know this sounds crazy, but now I know that it works. I'd actually go and get a business loan, and I'd actually put 5 grand aside and go, right, that's my spend over the next 3 months. And I would do that because I know it delivers. But you're talking to a market out there that don't know me, so that I can't recommend them as a confident sort of someone that they trust. So it's really hard. But so I would absolutely take a business loan if the finance was an issue. Other than that, I can only imagine people wouldn't take the plunge because of finances. I can't understand why nobody else would do this. And the only reason I didn't do that is because I didn't believe anything that I was seeing out there. We can get 50 clients in a month. Again, it's too good to be true. But I've just been in a really fortunate position that I knew somebody that used you. So that just took away all my anxieties. It was a finance thing for me. I'm like, can I really afford, to put thousands towards this? And I tell you what, well, within the first few weeks, I went, oh my God. And it just everything. And we didn't think we was going to do as well as we did we? Like, even you were like,
No.
we're in a tricky month. The first month's always slow. Well, the first month was hard. Like, it was hard hitting. I was like, oh my God, second month. And obviously we're just hitting our third month now. But I can't see. I thought like it might be a 3-4 months thing that I do. I actually can't see me leaving you, because I think that every season that we get into, we can start hitting something else. We can start doing something else, and it might be that, let's just say, all my devices are really like pumping and whatnot, and they're being used to full capacity. I might go, oh Harry, can we do something with monthly subscriptions? Can we do something with skincare? Can we get that, like, just making money on the side, like while I'm sleeping, would be amazing. I just know you're really quite broad in what you can do and still keep it quite niche within the industry as well. So I feel like we could do anything now.
Definitely. All right, so you heard it. If you're sitting on the fence, call Jay.
Yeah.
She'll tell you.
Do you know what? I'm really happy. If anyone wanted to contact me and have a chat with me, they can literally just look at Sterling Skin on Instagram. You'll find my contact details. I'd be so happy. I've been fortunate enough to have somebody, point me in the right direction with Ellie from Malden Skin Clinic. I know no one knows me, but I'd definitely be happy to have that conversation, and reassure people just to step into the world. Because I want everyone to do well. Maybe not right on my doorstep, but I do want everyone to do well in this industry, because it's hard being a business owner.
Yeah.
Really, really hard.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jay, thank you for your time today. Got some really good stuff out. Can't wait to see the final edit. I'll stop the video here.